You have such a beautiful voice. I'm curious, do you just describe it as country, or is there a specific way that you describe the music you make?
Um, that's I would say now, with the new stuff we're going, I'm going a more, a traditional country route would be the best way to describe what I've been doing lately. Kind of early 2000s with a more modern flair to it maybe.
Who are some artists then that influenced you when you were growing up?
Growing up, I would say, I my parents grew up in the right in the heat of the grunge era. So, growing up, if I was riding with my dad would make me listen to Stone Temple Pilots and Pearl Jam and stuff like that. But getting in the car with my mom, there would be George Strait and, that early Eric Church. My music is kind of a big amalgamation of all those influences as I was growing up.
I think Houston, Carolina is absolutely gorgeous. What kind of fan feedback have you been really receiving already to it?
So, so far, and this is a I'm very grateful for this. Last year I was doing a lot of acoustic based stuff. So, from what I've seen, my fan base is kind of accepting the change, the evolution of my music and my artistry really well. They love all the new stuff, and very grateful for all the positive feedback for the new sound, because it's really different from what I used to do. Uh, Still the same songwriting, still the same bare bones musicianship, but it's got the extra flair when it comes to being fully produced for the first time.
Where did the concept for the song come from?
Um, I guess you could say I've done a lot of traveling between North Carolina and Tennessee, especially in the last year or so. I'll stay home full time and travel to Nashville, for my rights and recording and production. And that was also the base from which me and the band all left to go on the road. So I spent a lot of time, traveling 40. And I guess that the inspiration for that song literally came from driving down 40 West and back home 40 East, and most of that inspiration came directly from that thought. You know, Tennessee's well and fine. Everywhere else in the country's fine. Uh, Great, beautiful places everywhere, but North Carolina, in my opinion, is the most beautiful state in the world. Some of the most beautiful scenery. And I live in eastern North Carolina. An hour away I've got the beach, and 4 hours the other direction I've got the mountains, the most beautiful mountains in the country. So, North Carolina's special, and I think everybody could use a little Carolina, and insert whatever state you live in here. Make it apply to yourself. Everybody could use some.
What's your songwriting process? Do you need to have a beat before you can start crafting lyrics? Or for this one, like Need Some Carolina, you would have like a lyric that found you first.
I would say 9 times out of 10, the words come first. The lyrics come first, and most of the time they're paired with a melody already when they come to me. And most of the time, most of those melodies and those lyrics come to me while I'm driving. That has been that's been the common inspiration for every song I have ever written. I would say is me being in my truck with something on the radio, and just some lyric pops in my mind. And sometimes I can write, an entire verse. Sometimes I'll write the entire song. Sometimes it's just a title or a hook. But, my writing process revolves heavily around traveling. And I think that reflects very well in my music. You can kind of get that image of, just traveling back and forth to from home to wherever.
How much of a hand then do you have on the production side of the music that you make?
So I've been lucky so far with the producers I've worked with. Micah Carpenter was my producer for Mr. Tennessee, Houston, Carolina, and Pretend. And I was very lucky with having Micah because Micah was so easy to work with. He's, a musical genius, and I could basically just communicate to Micah what I wanted this to sound like. Uh, have this in there, have some piano in there. What about some organ or whatever? And Micah could literally just make it spring to life out of nothing, which is great because I'm not the most musically inclined person, believe it or not. And to be paired with somebody that is and can, you know, flesh out what I envision in my head or what I hear in my head is great. So I have a lot of influence on the production value, what goes on in the song, but I also let the producer have their own touch in it. Like I said, I'm not the most musically inclined person, so two sets of ears is always the best. I have my base idea, and they just kind of extrapolate on it, make it bigger.
Okay, well, with Houston, Carolina, Mr. Tennessee, and Pretend Out, is this a prelude to a full album, maybe an EP in the works?
So we've got a lot of stuff in the works. I don't know that I'm at liberty to say like what exactly we have planned, but we do have a compilation of some songs coming out in the future, with a brand new song, Hard Times, dropping on the 12th, which is Friday. And, we're planning to put all of these songs together in a cohesive format, whether that be an EP or an album. Something's coming. One of the two is coming.
Well, Helene is one of my personal favorites, and I think it's so amazing that Luke Combs heard it and personally invited you to perform there in North Carolina. What did that mean to you?
So I would say up until now, that has been the defining moment of my career. To get some notice, some eyes from, the biggest artists in the field, whether that be Luke, who called me, or, the backstage conversations with, Chase Rice and Chris Lane, Bailey Zimmerman, Scotty, and, even that little on stage meeting with Eric Church. Uh, that has been the defining moment of my career. And in my opinion, all things considered, it was great to be on that stage with all those massive stars. Uh, but in my opinion, um, it was extra special to me to be able to contribute in the aid of my fellow statesmen who were going through, the worst disaster in Western North Carolina history. That meant the world to me, to be able to pitch in and help in the best way that I know how, which is, through my music. But yeah, that was absolutely the defining moment of my career, and I don't know that I would ever be able to play in front of 82,000 people again. Just that situation, that concert, to be able to be involved in that, and to kind of get some flowers from some of the bigger guys in the industry, has been honestly the most breathtaking opportunity ever. Very grateful to those guys.
Speaking of performing live, what can fans expect from a live Wesko performance?
So all those acoustic songs that people are used to hearing, we're going away from it a little bit now, but you can expect to hear some loud, truly country music, and I can't explain more that it's loud. It's it's loud. It might not be everybody's cup of tea, but the music's loud, the lyrics are true, and I do my very best every time I get on stage. I play every show, whether it's 50 people or where, I play a show with 50 people just like I played the show with 80,000 people. Everything is the same to me. It all means just as much. And if you come to one of my shows, you can expect to see me just about every night, give you every breath I've got in my lungs, and to the verge of like blowing my voice out every night. Like
Oh my
I
goodness.
give it I give it all I got every show, no matter. who it's opening for, whether it's a headline gig or whatever. I give every show all I've got.
Is there an artist you would love to collaborate with in the future?
Yeah, I've got a couple. I would love to collaborate with Luke Combs, and I'd love to also collaborate with Eric Church. But I mean, all country artists do. And I have to say, after the concert for Carolina, Luke did give me his phone number, and I do send him songs. So maybe
Nice.
one day, it might take a couple years of me sending him songs. Maybe one day we'll collaborate. Who knows?
Right down my fingers, my toes, everything crossed. I'm
Me
for you
too.
guys to reunite and hit the stage together.
Me too.
What's next for you? Are you just busy touring? Are you back in the studio?
Right now, I am excited to be moving a little closer to Nashville. So I'm going to take the next, I would say, 4 or 5 months, get in some really good writing rooms with some really good people, and hopefully get in, a studio. I've got a brand new producer
Nice.
who's very experienced, been around a really long time, worked with some really popular people. So I'm very excited to take some time and devote it completely to writing and making new music.
What would you like to say then to everyone who are fans and supporters of the beautiful music you continue to make?
There's more where it all comes from. This is all I do. All I do every day is sit. I go to the gym and do that stuff, but I write music every single day. So if you like the direction we're heading, you better strap in and hold on tight because it genuinely is just getting better every time. Every song is better than the last. So give me 6 months. I can't wait to see where the sound will be then. So just buckle up.